And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene here at the Wee Street Ice Center, home of the Tulsa Oilers in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They've got our show lineup for the week. We're going to start with Barry Tramel, Big Four football wrap-up. Barry's been a sports columnist in Oklahoma for over 50 years. We'll talk about the bad seasons of OU, OSU, and Tulsa. What's ahead in 25 doesn't sound real good. Also, Barry Lewis, the Tulsa World's prep editor, will be here to talk about his 5 big stories from 2024 and wrap up the Tournament of Champions season-ending basketball tournament. And the Montonati, stars of the TFC tournament, the Owasso coach and his son, Jalen, who's an outstanding basketball player, one of the top recruits in the nation. They'll be here to talk about it and talk about their championship trophy at the TFC. And we'll have Emmett Hahn back here to preview the Tulsa, talk about the Tulsa shootout and preview the Chili Bowl. But first, here are the Tulsa World Hot Topics. The first 12-team college football playoffs are now down to the Final Four this week. Thursday, January 9th, the Orange Bowl. It's Penn State against Notre Dame on ESPN at 7:30. The next night, Friday, January 10th, the Cotton Bowl, number 5 Texas, number 8 Ohio State. That's 7:30 on ESPN. Then the College Football National Championship game, Monday, January 20th, 6:30, ESPN at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Note, by the way, none of the top 4 seeds made it to the semifinals, and no conference champion made it to the CFB team either. Only one team, SEC, made it, and of course, the first-year team, Texas. While college football enters its final round of playoffs, the National Football League just finished the regular season. Here are the playoff matchups leading to the 59th Super Bowl, February 9th, Superdome in New Orleans. This year's postseason field includes several first-timers, Washington Commanders, Minnesota Vikings, Denver Broncos, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, there are also plenty of familiar teams back on the field, including and leading the way, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the 10th straight year they've been in the playoffs. Chiefs are also, of course, trying to become the first team in NFL history to win 3 straight Super Bowls. 18 weeks ago, the NFL season kicked off with 32 teams. Now we start the wild card playoffs with 14. 2 teams are sitting this one out. Kansas City, the AFC champions, the NFC champion, Detroit Lions. They have first-round byes. Here's the schedule now for the first wild card weekend. Saturday, January 11th, Chargers at the Texans. Steelers at the Ravens. On Sunday, January 12th, Broncos at the Bills, the Packers at the Eagles, the Buccaneers will host the Commanders from Washington. On January 13th, Monday night, it's Vikings and Rams at 7 p.m. on ESPN and ABC. Again, the Lions and the Chiefs have byes. Then next weekend, January 18th, the AFC Championship, Sunday the 19th, the NFC Championship, and then it's Super Bowl 59, New Orleans Superdome, February 9th, 5:30 to kick off for the championship season. There's been no hotter basketball team in the NBA than our Oklahoma City Thunder, a team record 15-game win streak dating back to December 3rd. After Sunday's meeting of pro basketball's 2 best teams, the West-leading Thunder, hosting the defending world champion Boston Celtics, OKC came back from double-digit deficit to win 105-92. Over the Celtics were amazing. 27 points in the second half, with Thunder's star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 33 points for the second straight game. Thunder started the week with a 7-game lead in the West with a 30-5 record, including 17-2 at home, 13-3 on the road. OKC now hits the road with games this week at Cleveland, New York, Washington, Philadelphia, before returning back to OKC January 16th to host Cleveland. Oilers hockey, Tulsa's 73-year-old hockey franchise, is now changing its identity for at least this weekend. The Route 66 Blue Whales for its games at the BOK Center on January 10th and 11th against Fort Wayne. The team wanted to honor the historic Route 66. They have Blue Whale jerseys on, and the fans will get special symbolic giveaways on both Friday and Saturday night hockey at the BOK. For our state's Big 3 college football programs, 2024 is the year to forget. With both Oklahoma State, Tulsa 3-9, OU 6-7, its second losing season in 3 years. The combined winning percentage, by the way, for the 3 teams, the worst since 1923. Tulsa Royal Feature Sports columnist Barry Tramel joins us, wrap up the football season of 24 and look ahead to 2025. It doesn't look good. All that coming up next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The General Admission Pit Pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
The Tulsa Oilers return to the ice for another ice-melting year.
He shoots, he scores!
Friday, January 10th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. It's the Route 66 weekend celebration. The first 1,000 fans get a free Tulsa Oilers bucket hat. Don't miss the ultimate in fast-paced entertainment.
It's turned over and going the other way.
Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. Don't miss the hard-hitting, pulse-pounding, smash-mouth excitement.
Oh, I can feel that one.
Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey are back.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
On Oklahoma Sports Scene this week, I want to take some time to wrap up the disappointing 2024 college football season for our local teams. I called on Barry Tramel, an old friend of mine. For almost 50 years, he's been covering college football in Oklahoma. First the Norman Transcript, then with the Daily Oklahoma, now the Tulsa World is one of their senior sports columnists. He also did a preview of the Navy game with OU. That was the military bowl game, of course, on December 27th. And he closed with the description there. He said, I want to end this with a pick on the game. He said, so who wins and why? He said, I see it this way, the prediction, Navy 21, Oklahoma 20. That was the exact score of the game. I asked Barry, how'd you pick that?
First of all, it's dumb luck. And second of all, when you've got the Sooners are fairly predictable. I mean, the Alabama game was outside the lines, but otherwise you sort of knew what this OU team was. They don't play high-scoring games. That helps. You know, when we got a smaller parameters, and you know, Navy is an interesting team, but it doesn't have the athletes OU does. So you figured OU would make a couple of big plays, able to score some touchdowns, but Navy's unique offense. So I figured the game would be somewhere around 20. So I just, you know, spitballed 21-20, and somehow it came up aces.
Well, let's talk about the Oklahoma Sooners season. 6-7, and for Brent Venables, that's 2 or 3 losing seasons. And what's the temperature down there in Norman and the outlook?
Well, I mean, I think people are ready for Brent to win, and I think, you know, his contract is saving him. He's got the huge buyout, and so it's not really affordable to make the decision to change right now. Without that contract, I think Oklahoma probably would have changed football coaches. But the finances being the way they are, you need all this money to pay the players now, much less your normal expenses. So they really couldn't go a different direction. But I don't think they can go another year without a breakthrough from Venables. So, you know, here's the truth, Chris. After year one, the Sooners wondered, do we have the right coach? 6-7. After year two, I think OU people thought we have the right coach. 10-3 season. After year three, they're back to wondering, hey, what is going on? And too many wonderings equal clarity in that they don't have the right coach. So one more season close to this probably means the end of the Venables era.
And Barry, it doesn't look great as far as 25 future right now with, my gosh, how many guys they lose the portal? Over 20 guys, new coordinators, and a tough schedule again in the SEC.
Yeah, the schedule's the killer. I actually don't know that the roster has taken too bad of a hit. You know, they lost a lot of offensive players, but the guys they lost on offense either weren't very good or had been injured. And, you know, you want Nick Anderson to come back and be a playmaker, but they didn't have him this year. So the defensive losses, Stutzman to the NFL, Billy Bowman to the NFL, yeah, But that's the sign of a prosperous program when you're losing really good players to the NFL. And I think Venables has done a great job stocking the defensive roster. So I think they'll be pretty good on defense again. They just got to get that offense going. And the addition of John Mateer at quarterback certainly is a positive sign coming from Washington State, the number one portal quarterback in America in most people's rankings. So, I mean, I think they've got a chance to be better in 2025, but the schedule is very tough. Michigan comes on the schedule. The same SEC opponents that played this season, playing next season, just flip the venue. So, a 7-5 regular season, 8-4 regular season won't be easy to get to. And Venables needs to get into the 9-3 territory probably. So, that's the main thing is just, the litany of opponents, Texas, Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, that crowd. That's what Tennessee, that's what's standing in Brent Venables' way.
Here, other Big Four football teams. Let's take a look now at Oklahoma State. And no one could have seen that coming. The 3-9 season, winless in the Big 12. Coach Gundy on the hot seat, off the hot seat. What's the latest in Stillwater?
Well, brand new team, literally zero offensive starters returning. I've never, there's things going on in Stillwater I've never seen in 47 years of covering college football. I've never seen zero returning starters on one side of the ball. I've never seen a total wipeout of the coaching staff. It looks like the only staff member on the coaching side who's back is the special teams, the kicking coach, Sean Snyder, who came aboard in September. So just total makeover. The roster, the portal additions don't seem to be all that fanciful. So I'm fairly pessimistic about OSU football in 25, but I was incredibly optimistic in 24, and the bottom fell out. So, don't count on me going 21-20 aces all the time, but I don't see a lot of reason for being optimistic about OSU football right now.
I'll tell you what the Cowboys schedule for 25. They start at home with UT Martin. That's at Oregon. Wow. Then TU comes over to Boone Pickens Stadium on September the 20th. Arizona Wildcats get things underway for Big 12, but schedule pretty challenging non-conference as well.
Yeah, that game at Oregon, the Ducks will have a new quarterback, but doesn't matter. Dan Lanning's really got that one going. That's the thing about OSU this season. Non-conference went pretty well. They beat Arkansas in that overtime game in Stillwater. They're 3-0. They're ranked in the top, I think, 13. I think they got up to 13. And you think, man, this is what you were hoping for. And then just the bottom falls out. And next year it'll be very difficult to win in Eugene, Oregon. A 2-1 non-conference seems likely. And then comes the Big 12, which is proven to be not top-heavy, but not bottom-heavy. Lots of equitable teams, and if you're not up to speed, you're going to lose a lot of games, and that's what happened to Mike Gundy in 2024.
Tulsa has yet another new head football coach. They fired Kevin Wilson after that 3-9 season. They're 1-7 in the AAC and outscored several games by more than 30 points. Bring in Trey Lamb, a young coach who, I guess at least you can say he won the press conference. A lot of enthusiasm for this young guy, not a lot of background.
I'd actually never heard of Trey Lamb. I don't do much into the 1AA realm. His resume is okay, but nothing glittery. But what I liked about him was, boy, he's energetic, and he's got a plan, and he's got a strong personality for a young guy. So, I was impressed the day that TU introduced Trey Lamb, and the Golden Hurricane went with the veteran presence, the name brand, Kevin Wilson. Everybody knows what a tremendous coach Kevin is, but sometimes you got to try something different. And the young guy, and it's a brave new world with the portal, with the different kind of recruiting, with different kind of relationship building. 3 and 4 year plans on relationships don't work in this atmosphere. So Trey Lamb seems to have a plan. We'll see if it works. Tulsa is a tough job. college football, all of college football is a tough job for coaches these days. But I like his energy, and we'll see how Trey Lamb can do.
And let's go with Arkansas. How about Sam Pittman? Everyone's ready to give it to Sam, and all of a sudden they come up with a winning season and an impressive Liberty Bowl win over Texas Tech, beating them 39-26. And it looked like Sam is back at Arkansas for 25.
Yeah, I was very pleased for Sam. He did a nice job. Heartbreaking loss in Stillwater. Razorbacks dominated that game and probably should have won. That could have set them back, but instead he comes back with a solid 4-4 record in the SEC, which I think is pretty dang good for the Razorbacks. So pleased for Sam. And Bobby Petrino did a nice job in his return to Fayetteville, making a high-powered offense. So, the arrow's looking up on Arkansas football. SEC will always pull you back down. So, it's a constant struggle for the Hogs. But, yeah, very nice year and got some momentum rolling for the Ozarks, no doubt about it.
Go right back to Barry and talk about the college football playoffs and look to the future in college football. We return on Oklahoma Sportscene after this timeout.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
We're back on Oklahoma Sportscene with Barry Tramel, the columnist of the Tulsa World and a long-time coverage of football in this area, almost half a century. Sorry about that, Barry.
All right.
That's,
at some point, you start getting proud of it. So
exactly. I feel the same way.
Embrace the reality.
Playoffs going on this week, Barry, and we have the Final Four. Your thoughts on the playoff system from 12 to 4 now, and is it working? How do they need to change it? And what do you think of the system and the games this week?
Well, there's a couple things. I would say let's not be so quick to bash the new model, the new formula, the new system. Let's let it bake a little bit. Let it heat down after it comes out of the oven. I think sometimes we're too quick to judge. The problems that I see were not the formula, were not the protocols. I thought the committee did a poor job of ranking teams all season. And then I think some of the things that the bracket is saddled with, these expanded conferences where a lot of teams don't even play each other. And in the Big Ten, Ohio State beats Penn State in State College, Pennsylvania. But because Ohio State has a much tougher conference schedule, it ends up with 2 losses. Penn State ends up with 1. Penn State gets to the Big Ten title game. Penn State's ranked above Ohio State. That means the bracket ends up putting Oregon against Ohio State. That's not the bracket's fault. That was the Big Ten's fault for not having its best teams in the Big Ten championship game. So I'd like to see it ride for a while. I do think the playoff was a little bit of a dud to start with. We had these routes to start with, but then we had some good games in the second round. Texas Arizona State was a classic. Georgia Notre Dame was fascinating. Boise State played Penn State rather tough. I thought it was for a fraction of a second it was a one-score game with 7 minutes left, and the penalty returns it. So I thought we had some good football. I do think this is going to be a playoff that's remembered for the blossoming of a star-crossed program like Ohio State. We go into this playoff thinking Ryan Day may be fired. That Michigan, he's got a head block on Michigan. He can't get the Wolverines out of his mind. But they hit the playoffs running. They got a bad draw having to play Tennessee. They routed the Vols. Got a bad draw having to play Oregon. They routed the Ducks. They look like the cream of the crop. And I think that's what this playoff's going to be remembered for is Ohio State just zooming to the championship.
No doubt, Barry. The SEC took a little hit to their ego this year. The playoffs and such. Only Texas, the newcomer, making it for the SEC, and they're not really happy at the SEC right now.
You know, that's one of the frustrating things about Sooner football is Oklahoma actually joined the SEC in a down year. Georgia's not itself. Alabama's not itself. And Oklahoma was not able to take advantage of that. Texas is rising. Tennessee's rising. But LSU is down. Florida is down. It's a much more equitable SEC. So there's parity has come to the Deep South, and the Sooners are part of that. So yeah, it's not a great year for the SEC, which is used to domination. You know, you look at it. Look how close the SEC is to having 0 teams in the last 2 national semifinals. A year ago, Alabama's in only because of the very controversial decision to put Alabama in front of unbeaten Florida State. This year, Arizona State has Texas on the brink. Just, a 4th and 13 completion keeps Texas alive. Without those two pretty amazing developments, SEC doesn't even have a national semifinalist each of the last 2 years.
Crazy times in the Big 12 as well, Barry. Who would have thought at the start of the season, Arizona State, we experts picked them last in the Big 12. They win the championship, play Iowa State. Who would have thought it'd be Iowa State, Arizona State, Big 12 finals? What do you think of the Big 12's future?
Well, the future, I think Arizona State did the Big 12 a solid. I think the Big 12 status rose because of Arizona State's performance against Texas. I think that'll be in committees' minds in the future. I think that'll be in pollsters' minds. I think the Big 12 status rose a little bit, courtesy of Arizona State. So that was good. The Big 12 is still going to face an uphill battle with prestige, with status, with the idea that people believe they can't compete with the Big 10 or the SEC. So the Big 12 has to continue to build its programs, need to win some pivotal non-conference games next September. But the one thing about the Big 12 is you never know what's going to happen. The parity is unbelievable. I mean, Chris, we've had in the last, we're back to being in the last, I think it's the last 10 teams to make the Big 12 championship game. Only 2 have been twice. In the last 5 years, only twice. OSU's been twice. Iowa State's been twice. 6 others have made it. That kind of parity is going to continue. A new champion every year. I mean, our champions going back, it's Arizona State, Texas, K-State, Baylor, Oklahoma. So 5 different champions, last 5 years. You never know what you're going to get with the Big 12.
And we have to touch on the 2 still controversial subjects that all kind of dominate college football, NIL and the portal. Your thoughts there? We're going to have any kind of structure, any kind of guidelines in 2025?
Well, I actually think 2 things. One, all the things people say about the portal and about NIL, how it's going to ruin college football, it might. But the opposite has so far been the effect We've got more parity. We've got more teams. All of a sudden, Georgia and Alabama don't have all the players. I mean, Ohio State is loaded and it looks like they're going to win the national championship. But 2 weeks ago, everybody wanted to fire their coach and they couldn't score on Michigan. So parity, this has created parity. Free agency in sports has always created more parity. And until someone shows me otherwise, I am not going to be a doomsdayer. Now, I do think we need some calendar adjustments. The madness of December is baffling to me, where we have free agency before the season's over. We have coaches and players changing rosters before the season's over. That's nuts. The National Football League doesn't allow that. The NBA doesn't allow that. Major League Baseball doesn't allow that. College football shouldn't allow it. We've got to get some calendar adjustments to where the roster changes. All the moves that we see come after the season.
Graham, I was struck by this article I saw the Associated Press, the end of an era. That was the end of amateur athletics in college sports in 2025. Your thoughts? Are we there already?
Oh yeah, we're there. It's what we have, particularly with football, but most of the other sports too. We just have another major league, another professional league. Just has different eligibility parameters. Like in the NFL, for instance, you have to be a certain age to start playing. In the college football, you can only play so long, but it's professional football, no doubt about it. I do think this. Here's what I would ask. We had the professionalization of the Olympics, right? I don't know, whenever you want to say, 20 years ago, probably more like 30 years ago. Has that hurt the Olympics? Are the Olympics worse than they used to be? I tend to think not. I mean, I think people still enjoy them. The competition's better than ever. I mean, the money, sports have always been in money. Now the athletes are getting some of it on certain levels, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Finally, Barry, you and I have lived through a lot of college football seasons, none quite like the 2024 season just passed. Never with OU, OSU, Tulsa having losing seasons. Then you go back percentage-wise back to the 1920s. Find out when these three teams were this bad. Give us something to look forward to in 25. Brighter future?
Well, I don't know, Chris. It looks like, to me, it looks like a repeat. But like I said, I didn't see this coming. I thought OU would have a good football team.
Yeah.
I thought OSU would have a Big 12 contending team. I thought Tulsa would have a solid football team. So what do I know? I mean, I joined the masses and assumed Arizona State would be one of the worst teams in the Big 12. Instead, we picked them 16th in the Big 12. They finished in the top 8 in America and probably should have made the Final Four. So things change so much. You just can't. I don't think we've come to appreciate how much things change year to year in college football now. So in the same way that those squads fell far, you can rise quick, you can rise high.
Barry Tramel, columnist of the Tulsa World. Barry, thanks always for joining us. Happy New Year, and keep picking those 21-20 scores. That's very impressive.
I'll do it, Chris. Thanks.
All right, buddy. And another one of your colleagues coming up next. We have Barry Lewis, the prep editor for the Tulsa World, talking about his 5 greatest stories of 24 and the Tournament Champions basketball tournament. Straight ahead on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The Tulsa Oilers return to the ice for another ice-melting year.
He shoots, he scores.
Saturday, January 11th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. The Route 66 weekend celebration continues. The first 1,000 fans get a free Aloha shirt. Don't miss the ultimate in fast-paced entertainment.
It's turned over and going the other way.
Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. Don't miss the heart-hitting, pulse-pounding, smash-mouth excitement.
Oh, I can feel that one.
Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey are back.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The General Admission Pit Pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Welcome back on Oklahoma Sportscene, and welcome back on our favorite guest, Barry Lewis, the Tulsa World. He's the editor of the Prep Action, and of course he does a great job covering all the high school sports. And I was also fascinated by the end of the year, you came out with your 5 favorite stories, topics you covered in the Tulsa World. I want to review those. Let's go to number 1. You mentioned that crazy December, the high school football changes, coaching changes.
Yes, it was a 2 or 3 week period in December where it was just one high-profile coach after another, one high-profile job after another. The changes that were made, never seen anything like that in 40 years of covering sports here in Tulsa. I mean, who would have guessed going into late November that you would be having changes at Jenks, Union, Owasso, and Broken Arrow? I mean, you might have been able to see a change at 1 or 2 of those, but not all 4 of them. And then Muskogee and Wagner. I mean, it was crazy.
I think Kirk Ritter kind of started it all off by kind of surprising us by announcing his retirement, but making it clear that he probably wants to come back and coach again sometime, too.
Yes, and I can definitely see him coaching sometime. But again, as part of the wild changes, who would have ever thought Coach Bill Blankenship would be coming back to Owasso after it seemed like he'd retired last year? It reminded me of our good friend Gil Cloud when he retired a few years ago as Tulsa Public Schools athletic director. He said he had tried retirement 3 times previously and had failed, and so maybe this time it was going to stick. So Coach B had tried retirement, had a good year, he said. He enjoyed it, but it's like, I guess he failed at it to some extent because he's back coaching. But it's great to have Coach Blankenship back coaching, and looking forward to next season, seeing what he can do at Owasso.
It's going to be a whole new look for prep football in 2025 here in Oklahoma for sure in this area. Let's talk about any idea how many high school basketball games you covered last year? You picked one as the best, though, that 6A finals with Owasso.
Oh, yes. That's one of the best championship games I've seen of all time, as Owasso rallied to beat Edmond North in the 6A state championship game. Went into overtime. It had everything you'd want from a state championship game, and what a way for Owasso to win its first boys state basketball title.
And the Montonati is going to be on with us right after your segment here, in fact. And how good is this Jalen Montonati kid? Just a junior, right?
Just a junior. I have to keep reminding myself he's just a junior. It seems like he's been making an impact for a long time. But just what a wonderful player. And Owasso basketball was really a story, not just last winter, but this winter too, having beaten 2 top 10 teams in Florida a few weeks ago.
All right, number 3 of your best stories of 2024. All the coaches you covered, and one that really stood out for you is Marco Harris. Tell us about that.
Yes, Marco Harris. He's been a major college assistant at Power 5. Well, back then it was Power 5, now Power 4 schools. And he had never really been a head coach except for 4 games at Booker T. Washington back in 2011. And he came back to Tulsa and got his really first time as a high school head coach at Edison. And what a fabulous job he did. Because he was replacing a coaching legend there, their all-time winningest coach, Michael Parrish, who went over to East Central. And Marco Harris came in and did a fabulous job there. He got a lucky break in the state tournament pairings, but he just did a wonderful job there. And then he went, after the 1 year at Edison, he went back to major college coaching as an assistant at Missouri State.
Well, number 4 on your list, an event you always enjoy, of course, do a great job of, Barry, and that is all kudos to Tulsa World, the All World Awards Banquet, the annual banquet.
Yes, that is always a wonderful event. We're going to have it again this summer, time and site to be announced later. So we're looking forward to that. It'll be our 9th All World Awards. But this past year, it just was a great event, as it always is. And Steve Dunlap was one of the individuals that we honored as the Lifetime Achievement Award winner, longtime wrestling coach in the area and athletic administrator, long time at Union, had great wrestling coaching success at Broken Arrow. And it was just great to honor him, as well as all the student athletes that we were able to recognize at that event.
Another one of your favorite passions, of course, is baseball. He's a long time. How long you covered the Tulsa Drillers here in town, Barry?
Oh,
my God.
Goes back to the 80s.
Well, another big event we always enjoy in the wintertime is the Field of Dreams banquet out at Claremore to support the baseball programs out there. And an old friend of yours is reunited with Keith Hernandez, who's played here with the Drillers, and of course, great career with the Cardinals.
Yes, Keith was playing for the Tulsa Oilers back in the baseball Oilers.
Yes.
Back when you arrived in Tulsa. In fact, I think it's about, he got called up for the first time to the majors, I think like the first week you were at Channel 8. So talk about timing. But anyway, I had, back in those days, I sat behind the dugout all the games with my dad and my brother and family, and I got to talk with him from time to time back as a fan back then. And he played here for 4 years, over parts of 4 seasons. And so it was really a big part of this. It was really a springboard to all the success he had in the majors. So, but I had not talked to him, and he had not really been to Tulsa since that time, so almost 50 years. And of course, he achieved great success since then and fame. And so I wondered when he came here, how it would be. Would it be just like Keith Hernandez back that we knew in the 70s? And pretty much so.
Good.
I mean, I've admired his work as both as a player and as a broadcaster through the years, so it was really great catching up with him. And of course, our friend Wayne McCombs.
Bittersweet this year.
Yes, he was so excited when he was able to convince Keith to come a couple of months before Wayne passed away. So I know he was looking down from above and seeing what a great event it was that night.
All right, brothers, talk about a great event you just covered, the year-end Tournament of Champions, always the premier basketball tournament in the state of Oklahoma, December 26th to 27th at BLK. Talk about some of your thoughts on that tournament this year.
Well, Jalen, Montonati, and Owasso, they showed Owasso deserves to be in consideration as one of the top 20 teams in the nation.
Wow.
I mean, winning the Tournament of Champions capped off what a grind. 7 games, high-intensity games in 11 days. I mean, they had to really grind out. After those 4 games in Florida, they come back with very little rest and have to win 3 big-time games in 3 days at the Tournament of Champions. That just shows you what type of team they are, and it was so very impressive.
First time since, 2016, Metro teams won the 2 championships. Again, Owasso the boys, and very quickly, the girls, Booker T.
Yes, Markayla Johnson, what a talent she is. She's a Baylor signee, and it was just a tremendous tournament. So many great players and great teams at the tournament. And then there was little Quinton on the girls' side, which was a giant killer. What a story they were.
Barry, thanks for the memories, 2024.
Thanks, Chris.
Look forward to having you on a lot of 25. The best there is, during prep action, of course, the Tulsa Drillers as well. Come right back. We'll talk so much about the Montonatis. They'll be right here, the head coach and their star player, next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The General Admission Pit Pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
And here is the trophy for that tournament championship we talked about, the 59th annual. Won finally by the Wausau High Rams. Here's the head coach, Ryan Montonati, his son, outstanding player, Jalen. Ryan, you've been chasing this story for a few years, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been on our bucket list ever since I've been head coach. I've begged Coach Wilson for us to be in it. It's a great tournament, down in downtown Tulsa. TBS does a wonderful job putting it on. There's not a lot going on during the holiday between, Christmas and New Year's, so it's always really good crowds and really good basketball.
You've given us some of the great games in the tournament history, the triple overtime memorial, last year's lost in the semifinals.
Yeah, we've been really close. In Shake's senior year, we lost in triple overtime, and we actually had to, it was on New Year's Eve, and we actually had to celebrate New Year's Day in the locker room. So we didn't get out of there until after midnight, and then, last year, us losing to Edmond North in the finals was disappointing, but for us to be able to finally get it done, it says a lot about our kids and our program.
And Jalen, for you, back-to-back MVPs of the tournament championship tournament. The year before, I saw that you had 92 points. This year, a bunch of points, a bunch of rebounds, but I was so impressed with the schedule your dad put you through.
Yeah.
Talk about it, 7 games in 11 days. Talk about the trip to Florida, what you guys went through.
Yeah, it was tough, not only for myself, but the rest of our guys. Kind of just shows the work that we put in throughout the off season. The conditioning part of it, and just how well conditioned we are and how bought in we are with each other. And to play 7 games in 11 days and not have any really fall off or drop off. Go to Florida and compete in the biggest tournament across the country, and then come back and get it done in Tulsa and defend our hometown was really special for all of us.
Coach, you faced some of the nation's best down in Florida. Talk about that tournament.
Yeah, we've been trying to build this thing the right way for the last few years, and we've got really good players. So anytime you got really good players, you're invited to some of the more prestigious tournaments. And last year, we were talking with the guys who put the City of Palms on, and they told me they only take state champions. And Jalen's national ranking, brings a lot of attention to us, but also it's our other guys like Jax Kerr and Julius Wilson and Bowden Williams and Kobe Freeman. We felt like we had a team that could go down and compete. So, we got invited. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity for some of our guys to be able to play against some of the nation's best. So we look forward to playing the best competition we can possibly play. That's been a motto of ours since I've been the head coach. We try to really play the best teams possible, and fortunately this year we've been invited to some really prestigious events.
As you should, as the reigning 6A champions of Oklahoma basketball. Jalen, how does that sound? You guys have tried for that trophy a long time. Talk about that finals, getting revenge in the 6A championship game.
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously sharing that moment with my dad and the rest of my family is something that I've always dreamed of ever since he got the head coaching job here. So to be able to be the first team in Owasso history to do it will always hold a special place in my heart. And, to do it with the guys I grew up playing basketball with was really special.
What are some of the things you think you need to work on your game to get better and better?
I think, honestly, just everything. Just trying to perfect my craft and, expand my potential and, just be the best player that I can be. Obviously, right now I'm trying to focus on getting stronger and putting more weight on my body and, getting tighter with the ball, work on my ball handling, and, ultimately just become a better leader for my teammates.
How crazy has it been recruiting so far, Dad? How many college scholarship offers? What kind of teams are we talking about around the nation?
It's been it's a blessing. I mean, it's stressful, but it's a blessing. And he handles it the right way. He's about the right things. But it's pretty much everyone in the country. The Power 4 schools. They're calling all the time, and going through this process myself. I try to echo as much information to Jalen as possible, but this is his journey. I tell the coaches to recruit him, don't recruit me. Talk to his mom, make sure, you're in constant communication with mom, and then you guys recruit him. My job as his dad and his coach is we'll weed all the pros and cons when it's time to make a decision. And with that decision, next year as a senior will come, obviously, NIL money, name, image, likeness. You got a friend who is a pretty good chip in NIL right now. Tell us about that young player. Just going to BYU for how much money was it?
It was around $6 million. So, yeah.
Jalen, you going to be counting some of that? Or?
I think the biggest thing with us, it's not the money. I mean, it's the, it's the development and the end game. Obviously education is first and foremost, but, you got to go someplace where you're going to be able to play the style of play, the coaching, who your teammates are and everything else. Pays huge dividends because, like I told him, you go and play, you get to the next level and you play and can produce. The big money comes, if you're good enough to make it to the NBA. But it's always good, the situation that these kids are in now, being able to line their pockets a little bit and, set them up for financial success. But at the end of the day, it's, the game is his love and, he's got goals, high, lofty goals. So we're going to keep focusing on that.
For the Montonati's, international travels involved too. I know we had some trips last year. What do you have planned this year?
It's going to be crazy. He's got the opportunity to go do some stuff with Team USA this spring, and then he has the capability of playing on the Italian U18 national team in the European Championship. So right now, we haven't really talked about it. Our biggest focus is on Owasso High School and helping the Rams get back to the 6A state championship.
Yeah, Jalen, what are your goals this season, individually and team-wise with Owasso?
Team-wise, obviously just go back-to-back, win another state championship, and, try and help other guys get to college and get them looks, not only for myself, but individually, I'd probably just say, kind of get all the accolades that I had last year, kind of just repeat, like Gatorade Player of the Year, Tulsa World Player of the Year, and, just all those Player of the Years, really.
Now, do you ever get a break from your dad?
From my dad?
And then he's at home too. Does he coach you at home as well, or is that?
No. I get a break. After the season, he kind of.
Mom steps in, right?
Yeah, he kind of lets me go whenever I go off and play with Mocan. So it's kind of good to balance the two.
That's the cool thing. Like our AAU team.
Yeah.
I'm coach now, but like in the spring and summertime, I just get to be dad. I just get to be supportive and tell them how proud I am of them. And just get to watch him play and enjoy it.
Congratulations to Montonati. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
Two champions. Galen, all the best.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
You'll get that 6A gold ball again for you. And
yes, sir.
We shall come back and talk to the senior and maybe want to borrow some money when it comes to
No kidding.
The Montonatis, the best there is in Oklahoma basketball. Come right back to talk about a great event. The Tulsa Shootout just finished up. Preview the Chili Bowl next on Oklahoma Sportscene.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Well, the major auto racing season is underway, and the wrap-up of the incredible Tulsa Shootout just completed. Here's the man behind it all, Emmett Hahn. Emmett, wow, that shootout was, people said that might have been the best night of racing I've ever seen in Expo Square.
That's what a lot of people have said, and I wouldn't disagree with them.
A 55-lap feature, some kind of race, and really some top racing names were in that field, too.
What was ironic about it is Kyle Larson won a couple of drillers. He was in Australia, time-wise, I couldn't tell you when. I watched it that morning. Anyway, when he won that 100,000 to win race down there, was doing an interview, and he said, let's make this short. He said, I've got 2 reservations. I got to go to the Tulsa Shootout in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he and several others flew straight in here, but it was great.
Record numbers, listen to this, 1,844 entries, 762 drivers from 43 states, 5 countries, over 100 entries for the 11th consecutive shootout. That's amazing.
I've never seen anything like it. The crowd Saturday night was absolutely unbelievable, and they got to see a show.
Here's some more numbers too. 1,105 race cars, contesting a total of 389 races. Talk about action for the week, get bang for your buck. And 3,682 green flag laps. That's from our friend Brian Hulbert, your media guy. Those are some impressive numbers.
I'll tell you, it's an impressive number. In our staging area, we got about 4 people getting the cars ready to go down the ramp. One had his watch on, and that one day at the shootout, he walked 26 miles.
Wow.
So I'm working a little bit too hard.
I think so, my gosh. And that trade show is so popular too, and there's no charge for that, right?
No. You can come in the trade show, and I think there's 60 booths in there. I know Kyle Larson and them guys are going to have their souvenir trailers in there, so you don't have to buy a ticket. Just come right in through the main entrance.
I like this. The finals are called, quote, possibly the wildest 55-lap finals ever in the 40 runnings of the Tulsa Shootout between champion drivers Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Those are familiar names to race fans.
Yeah, and the ironic thing about Kyle Larson, I've been there 40 years, and I have never, ever seen a race car down in the corner put the right rear, the dirt that throwed it up against the concrete wall. He put the right rear up halfway up that concrete wall, and it would just shoot him off the corner. And that's why he almost won it. But I've never seen that done before.
All right, let's move to the next big headline event, of course. That's the Chili Bowl. Bit of a break now. What happens between the races right now?
Right now, they're getting ready to restripe tomorrow. They're cleaning up. We had to move a lot of our fences for our spectators. We make our aisles wider. The trade show's in a different place. We got different banners on the racetrack, on the back of the bleachers. So there's just a little transition period there. Nothing big, but it's got to be done.
It'll be the 39th running of the famed Chili Bowl, dating back to 1987. And of course, it's the most popular indoor auto race in the world, I guess, right now, right?
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the shootout, there's nothing any bigger in the world. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What are some of the other top NASCAR drivers who, I know Tony Stewart's been here before, some of the guys have been here, and some will be running in the 2025 Chili Bowl?
Well, of course, Kyle Larson's there.
Yeah.
Kyle Busch is there, and his son won the junior sprint.
I saw that, yeah.
Shootout. Christopher Bell is there. He won.
He's a NASCAR guy, right?
He's a NASCAR guy. Creed is there, which he runs the Infinity. We got 2 IndyCar drivers, a male and a female, coming in for the Chili Bowl. We got some big block modified drivers coming in from New York. We got the best of the best of the best.
And I can't help but think back again now to the guy said this Golden Driller, the trophy, is tougher to win than the Borg Warner in Indianapolis.
And that's
wow.
I mean, that's hard for people to believe, but it is.
Well, all those laps qualifying, and gosh.
Yeah, the one class that Kyle Larson won, there were 431 cars in that class trying to get into a 20-car feature.
Give us some information now. Can people, anyway, people can come in and watch any of the action? I don't know, tickets are all sold out for the main part, but can you still get in and see the races?
Oh, yeah. Monday and Tuesday we have tickets.
Okay.
We have reserved seat tickets Monday and Tuesday. And then other than
that's the 13th and 14th of January coming
right.
up. Yeah.
And then you can buy a pit pass where you can go down and see the Kyle Larsons and walk down and look at all the cars. And we have 3,000. It's just open seating. In other words, they're not reserved, but you can buy a pit pass, walk the pits, get some autographs, and then go down and find you a seat.
All right, let's again talk about the impact, the economic impact it has on Tulsa and the area. I know last year we talked about $40 million.
Between the shootout and the Chili Bowl, it was $41 million last year. And then another gentleman called that has raced here years ago.
Yep.
And he's going to come in Saturday. In fact, he's going to be our Grand Marshal. Jeff Gordon will be our
No
Grand
way.
Yes, he called Thursday and said, hey, do you still have an opening for me? So he'll be our Grand Marshal this year.
Anyway, congratulations again on the shootout, on the Chili Bowl. Look forward to it. Again, Chili Bowl dates, January 13th to 18th at the State and Center there at Expo Square. We're covering here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Right back to wrap things up after we take this final break.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Get ready, Tulsa. January 13th to the 18th, the chase for the Golden Driller is back at the SageNet Center at Expo Square with the 39th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink. The biggest names, the toughest race, and they're all fighting for the sweetest victory of all to hoist the Golden Driller in victory lane. Monday and Tuesday reserved seats are available by calling 918-838-3777. Can only make it for Saturday night. The General Mission Pit Pass never sells out. For more info, log on to chilibowl.com.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
The Tulsa Oilers return to the ice for another ice-melting year.
He shoots, he scores!
Saturday, January 11th, 7:05 at the BOK Center. The Route 66 weekend celebration continues. The first 1,000 fans get a free Aloha shirt. Don't miss the ultimate in fast-paced entertainment.
It's turned over and going the other way.
Get your tickets now at TulsaOilers.com. Don't miss the heart-hitting, pulse-pounding, smash-mouth excitement.
Oh, I can feel that one.
Tickets at TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey are back.
Join us next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We'll talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll have some guests from the Thunder team. Talk about an incredible season off to a great start and, of course, a record 15-game win streak this week. Also, the Tulsa Ice Oilers are back home. They have like 4 of the next 5 games at the BOK Center. Coach Rob Murillo join us here to talk all things hockey. So join us next week on the Oklahoma Sports Scene Show. Until then, as we always remind you, try to be always a good sport.